Greetings from WBCS Neo. Right, in this example we're going to do my new simplified beginner method. It is basically a copy of JPerm's method with one exception, and I'll explain that in a minute. So this is the in the background here is the website. Okay, this is the website that I've made. It's still currently getting reviewed at the minute, so I've got a few Cubers basically checking it all out, making sure it's right and correcting me in any sort of bad English. With me being a Geordie, it's not that great. So that's basically it. It looks like a rigmarole, but to be fair, the first parts are for people who have never really tried to solve a cube and just literally got one. So the first stage is sort of the sort of thing that you should be able to figure out yourself without having to read all this, but doing this will allow you to learn the terminology of the moves and algorithms and stuff. Okay, the notation, as it were, because obviously you've got different moves, like an R2 for example. On here is an R2. I'll show you when I switch back over. So we'll swap back over to my camera view so we can show stuff. But yes, this is the website anyway, so if you want to have a shot, the link will be in the description below and you can have a go at it. Okay, so let's get cubing. Right, so yes, you can see two cubes here. I am going to do my method, thanks to JPerm for showing me a really nice way of doing a sort of beginner method. It's really cool. However, I am doing a slight variation of it, and I'll explain that now. In JPerm's video, which I will provide a link in the description for that as well, because I think you should have a shout for doing that video anyway, and you can check that one out. So JPerm's video, he uses what's called the sexy move. And I'll explain what the sexy move is. Sexy move is where you go R, U, R prime, U prime. Okay? It's one of those moves that you can repeat and repeat and repeat. Okay? However, say for example, in this case, we're just going to put this around here. If I wanted this in here, okay, I found doing JPerm technique, if I was to do that, I'm like, oh, I've got an orange in there. It's not in the right way, but hey ho. I'm just pretending it's in the right way. I would forget to do this U move at the top, which is pretty much useless. However, if you don't do that U move, it's not a complete algorithm. Okay, so then it goes pear-shaped. If you are solving the last layer and you don't remember to do that U at the top, then you mess the cube up when you rotate another corner. Okay, goodbye solve, you've got to start again or try to recover from where you are. Okay, so I am using the reverse sexy, which is U, R, U prime, R prime. Okay, so simply because when you execute, I'll put this one back down again. So U, R, U prime, R prime. When you finish the move, you've got to do the 4 moves to get that piece where you want it. Whereas when you're using normal sexy, you don't have to. Okay, and that's where the confusion may lie. So you get that one in, and if you haven't, and you're doing sexy and you haven't done that U, you haven't completed the move. Even though it's not important because you've already got a piece in, but you've got to remember to do that, and that's where it falls on its face sometimes, especially if you're a beginner and you see that piece go in as you're solving the D layer, you may forget to do that U. So using reverse sexy is a much safer way of remembering if it's in there, you've done 4 moves. Okay, so we're going to crack on, we're going to solve a cube. My method, I always teach people to put the white down, okay, and either do daisy inserts, which I'll show you what a daisy insert is. So we have got orange and white. White on the top is good, okay, that means it will just rotate down and go in. However, you need to line this edge piece up with its corresponding colour. So if we look around the cube, we've got white on the bottom. Before I do that though, I have spotted I have got red here, but I'm not going to do anything with it. I'll use orange to fix this, because blue is actually in its already place. So we've already got part of the cross already. Okay, we've actually got 2 halves of quarter of the cross, half the cross, half the cross. Okay, so we're going to rotate this orange round. Okay, bring it around and we'll do an R2. 1, 2, that's an R2. That puts this orange piece in the correct place. Blue is still there, but we've now release that red and white piece that was in the wrong place. Now all I've got to do is look for that red edge, okay, or the red center. So that's what you're looking for, is all these centers. Okay, so you can rotate either the top, you look, find that where it is, rotate that around. Okay, from here we can do an L2. Okay, however, well, we'll do an L2 and we'll explain why it wasn't a great idea, and you can. Okay, so if we do an L2, now what you didn't see probably if you're a beginner is the transition of the green and white piece. Okay, so now if I was to bring this around, it's a bad edge. Okay, it's not going to go in very easily. Okay, so as I came around with the L2, okay, if I did an L prime for example, I could line this green up here. Okay, now I can either bring it out to do a daisy move, or I can just slot it into the green place and carry on with red. Okay, so these are things that you start picking up on, thinking, well, I could have just done that instead of going right round the block and moving the green round to get it reinserted. So if you see things like that, where you've got a green coming around as you insert, then use it. Don't put it up here and then put it back down. That's just more moves and more time wasted. Okay, so from there we should have a nice, if we ignore these two corner pieces, we have got a nice cross. Okay, all the edge pieces are lined up, so blue, orange, green, red. Okay, so all lined up. From here, if you had the cube with the white on top, you want to turn it upside down. If you already had it on the bottom, don't have to do anything else. From here, we are looking for the easiest ones to do first are the ones, say we've got white, green, orange here. Okay, so we're looking for those center pieces. So we've got orange. Okay, we have got green, and obviously white is the one on the bottom. That is what we want. We don't want anything yellow. Ignore any yellow pieces. Don't need to know about them. So what we want to do is we want to rotate that piece so it is above the corner where the three colours meet. So if you drew a line from there to the corner, line to the corner and line to the corner, that would be the piece. So you bring this round so it's in the right place. Okay, so it's above where it needs to go in. From here, if you've got a colour other than white, then you want to rotate until the white faces you. The exception is like this one at the back, this blue-red, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, unless it changes its orientation when we do this. So this is where you're using your 4 move, the most important move of cubing, which is going to be a reverse sexy. So reverse sexy is U, R, U prime, R prime, and then it goes. Okay, easiest move on the planet. Is so nice to do. Okay, so that's it. When you get efficient to it, that's normal sexy, reverse sexy, and you notice there 1, 2, 3. As I finished the last 4th move, it's inserted. Whereas if I used reverse sexy, that wouldn't have worked. I would have been having to remember to do this last bit on the end. Okay, right. So that blue-red one was what I mentioned before. These ones are tricky ones. These are ones where you need to do a reverse sexy 3 times in a row. Okay, so we look around, we'll say, right, we need blue and red. So we've got blue and red. So basically move that to there. It's got white, so we know it needs to go to here. Okay, so 2 options. You can do reverse left sexy, okay, which you start on this one, or we will get you to do it normal reverse sexy on the right side, because that's your most dominant hand in cubing anyway. So we'll get you to drill that, as it were, as you learn a cube. So we'll do the reverse sexy 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and it's in. Okay, and that's it. So we now look for another corner piece which happened to be stuck. Okay, I'm not going to show you there's a trick to this to get both of these in at the same time. I'm not going to do it. We're going to play it by the rules of being a newbie. Okay, so we're going to take this one out. So we do this, the reverse sexy. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's out. Okay, now this is orange, blue, white. So we're looking for orange, blue, white. So bring it round. There it is. Okay, in this case, when you face it like on this side, it's no longer in the right corner because it's the wrong colour. We need white. So rotate it. This becomes a left reverse sexy. So 1, 2, 3, 4. in it goes. Okay, now we've got this, because we've swapped corners, we've taken the one that we needed out and put it at the top. That's ready to go in. So green red, come round, there's green red, bring it round, see which side you need to be facing with the white facing you, or unless it's on top it doesn't matter. Okay, so white's facing you, that becomes your front, and do a reverse sexy. 2, 3, 4. So you've now got a complete side with the first layer done. Now we'll move on to second layer. This is called F2L. Okay, this is your first two layers. So what we're looking for, I'll show you a little tip here. Oops, don't drop the cube. That's the first tip. What we want to do is, you see how I've got orange and blue up here. Okay, so what you want to do is you're looking to bring this blue round to the blue, and it should form a T. Okay, if you got it right, that's where it should look. If it looks like this, obviously it's wrong, because that orange should be there to form a T. So it's not a T, it's like a blip. Okay, so that's the way you want it. That's the side you want facing you. Okay, with the colour either to your left or to the right of that. Okay, if that's not matching, which would be an impossibility, but hey-oh. However, what I want to do is, I want to reduce the number of moves I need to do. Okay, if I'd seen that in there, I could have taken that out and then put it into red green. Okay, at the back here, which has got red blue in at the minute. Okay, so again, so what we're going to do is we're going to go this one into here, this one is going to go into here, this one is going to go into here, and then this one is going to go into here. Okay, and this is what we're doing. We're doing a flow of ins and outs, which reduces the number of ins and outs you need to do. Okay, if I didn't do this, then you would take a lot more moves. So since it's on the left side, this needs to go here to the left. So the way you remember which reverse sexy you need to do is, if it needs to go left to go in there, it's a left reverse sexy. If needs to go, obviously if this was red on top and it needed to go that way, that would be a right reverse sexy to do. Okay, so your first move is left reverse sexy, because it's on the left hand side colour. 2, 3, 4, which pairs them up. Now rotate the cube and do a normal reverse sexy. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes. Okay, that has also removed red and green, which I mentioned, which was stuck in here. Okay, it saved me taking this out first, then putting that one in. People, as a beginner, sometimes will take that out first because they think, well, I need to take that out to put this one in. No, you just put that one in, it takes that one out. Okay, so you're doing a method of elimination, as it were. So again, we've got the red edge. Okay, so we need to bring that around to red. We look at what colour's on top, green, which is on to the right. Okay, so that would be a right reverse sexy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rotate the cube so the white is facing you, like we were doing regular inserts on the corner there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, left reverse sexy. And then it goes. So again, we've got this blue-red now released, because we didn't have it, it was stuck in here. We now take that round, so we look at the blue edge, rotate the bottom round. You can just rotate the whole lot round. We've got it lined up, we know it's in the right place, we just need to figure out which side. So we'll look, red, red. Okay, so that is on the right, so it's a right hand reverse sexy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rotate the cube, white's facing, left hand reverse sexy. 1, 2, 3, 4. In it goes. That has released the orange green, which has happened to be in the perfect place because it's in the T formation straight away. So again, orange is on the right hand side, so that's right hand sexy, reverse sexy. Rotate, left hand reverse sexy, and in it goes. Now you have done F2L. That's the first two layers complete. Okay, right. So we're going to discuss the cross on top. Okay, this is fun. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, in this case, we're looking for the conditions. Okay, one condition is if you blank those out, you've got a dot. It doesn't matter about the corners, ignore corners, but if you blank those, you've got a dot. Okay. At any point, you simply do an F. In fact, I might just set that up. I can't remember how to do it. It's not going to show us it. It's not going to do it. I have to figure it out. So if you've got a dot, you just do an F, a reverse sexy, and then an F prime. Okay, and that'll give you a line. It'll give you it that way. In fact, yeah, I can do it now. I can remember how it goes now. Right, there we go. Right, so there we go. So this is the worst case for the cross, is basically you haven't got any cross pieces at all. From here you would do an F, a reverse sexy, and an F prime. That will give you a line. Okay. From here you put your line horizontal to you, and you perform an F, a double reverse sexy, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, and then an F prime again. So you always remember, put that back after you've done your sexies. You can't go wrong. Okay, now you get a cross. If you get a half cross, okay, if you get a half cross like that, say from down here, what you want to do is you want to put that at the top, and all you've got to do is an F, a reverse sexy, and an F to put it back, F prime. Okay, that gives you a cross back. So there you go. From here we have to have a look at the colours now. Okay, the edge colours of the cross. Okay, so what you're trying to look for is, there's a couple of conditions. Either you will have, in this case we have got that condition, so I'm going to put it in that condition now. Well, it's actually, so yeah, a couple of conditions. You either have it like this, which is completely in the right place, so we skip to the next level, which would be fixing the corner locations. Okay, definitely in this case, yes. However, we have got all four in the right place. This is where you would use the soon. Okay, I'm going to do a soon anyway, just to show you what I mean. So I'm trying to see if I can get one of the conditions which is awkward. This is the awkward one. So the awkward condition is you have correct edge here, two bad edges here. Okay, so what you want to do is, from here you want to do a soon, which I will letter it out. So that is R U R prime U R U2 R prime. Okay, and that gives you two correct edge pieces next to each other. From here you would bring that, or rotate, it's up to you. If you're confident enough, you can do it that and just execute another soon, and that will give you the other two edges. But we're going to rotate the cube so you can see what's happening. So you've got two correct edge pieces, put them to the back right corner and execute a soon. Okay, now if you give that one rotation on U, that will give you all the four matching edge pieces. Okay, and then you can move on to the next stage. So from here we are going to look for a nice corner piece that is hopefully in the right place. Okay, which we have one. If you don't have any corner pieces, see how this has got the three colours representing three colours it's around it. Okay, so we've got red, we've got yellow, and we've got green. So that's in the right place. We look at this one, we've got yellow, yay, green, orange, no match. Okay, and again, because you've got one match here, that means the other three are going to be out. Okay, there's no two in, two out. There's either none in the right place, one in the right place, or they're all in the right place, and you move on to the next stage again. Okay, so we've got one in the right place, so we are going to use that, what I have called, what did I call it, corner rotate in my my tuition. So the corner rotate goes, so I get this right, because it's one of those things I always forget. So what you want to do is, before we say or execute it, if you do have a corner piece that's in the right place, okay, then you want to put it in the front top upper corner. Okay, no good there, no good there, no good there, no good there. Okay, it needs to be there. Okay, make sure your edge is lined up and you should be fine. It doesn't have to be lined up, you can do it from here if you're quite savvy at spotting this, then you don't have to. Okay, it just makes life easier as a learner to see everything color orientated until you get used to being able to do out of color sync, until you know where all the colors are meant to be. And this is a problem a lot with beginner cubers is you don't know where the colours are meant to be on the cube, and you just get in a flummox when you start turning it around like that. It looks mixed up, but to me it doesn't, but to you it does. But when you do it like that, it looks normal again. So it's like it's like an optical illusion. It's like, oh, that's mixed up, oh, that's nearly solved. Bizarre, isn't it? Anyway, so from here we go U R U prime L prime U R prime U prime L. Okay, and what that does is that gives me, in this case I've been lucky, and it's given me all three corners. What that move does is it rotates, so it moves this one to here, this one to here, this one to here. Okay, that's what that move does. So if you have got, for instance, if I had orange and blue here initially, then I would have to repeat that twice, because it would move that orange to there first on the first one. Then if I repeat the move again, it would put it in the right order. Okay, there is tricks to that where you can do this on the left hand one, which I'm not teaching you in the beginning. I'm trying to keep the algorithms low, but if you, as you get more progressive with it, you could learn the alternative left-handers to this. It's not rocket science to work it out if you're doing mirrors, to be fair, but you know, that's another tuition. So you've got the four corners set. They're not, they just need rotating. At this point you could cheat with most cubes because you can just rotate them. That's cheating because people are watching you. You don't want to be doing that. That's not fun. Okay, they're just going to kick you in. So we've got all the colours in the right place. We've got one solved, which is nice. Okay, from here we are now going to go back to our good old reverse sexy, but you need to turn the cube upside down. Boop. Okay, this sounds a bit weird and counterproductive because most solving techniques you have everything on top. Okay, but this method works really well. So what you do is you find a corner piece that doesn't match. Obviously that one matches because it's in the right place. Okay, we've got one here with a yellow on front. So the rule is for these is whenever you're doing reverse sexy, it'll have to be either 6 or 12 repetitions to get this back to normal and to get these sorted at the same time. So in this case we've got this, if the yellow is on the front, so the yellow would be the bottom colour, okay, in this case yellow is facing you, that is 2 repetitions of sexy, reverse sexy. So we'll turn the cube round, that's two reverse sexies, and that's 2 reverse sexies. What's 2 times 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. Okay, so doing 2 sexies on each of these should solve the cube. Okay, 2 reverse sexies. I must get that right. What am I going to get wrong? So we're going to do that. Okay, if for example we were doing left reverse sexies, you can do this left reverse sexy if you want, if you are quite capable of doing left reverse sexy. However, because the yellow is off to the side, this would be, how is it? It's 4 times each corner to do it. Okay, and this is why we're doing it this way, because it's only 2, so there's a lot left moves. So that would be 4, 8, 12 moves, or 12 repetitions of the reverse sexy. Okay, or reverse left sexy in this case. So we're going to do it. So I'm just going to move this one here because this one's already solved, so it just stops me hitting it. I mean, I can do it this way and just turn the cube, the bottom layer. The important thing is, do not, when you start executing the sexies, do not turn the white at all once you've executed. When you're turning these bottom layer, only turn the bottom layer. It's a finger flick. If you've got a good cube, it's an easy finger flick. If you haven't got a good cube, if it's a old 1980s Rubik's Cube, then you'll be wanting to do this. Okay, do not turn any other parts when you're having to fix this bit. So we'll show you what we're going to do. So we're going to do 2 because it's yellow facing. So 2 reverse sexies. 1, 2. Now that's lined up. See how this is messed up? Ignore this part. This is what we're on about. Do not try to sort this out and then move this. So move this round to the next. That's no good. You can move it to there. It doesn't make a difference which one you move it to, as long as you move it to an empty spot. Okay, or a bad spot. Repeat the same move again. So 1, 2. Okay, now you've got that piece in. Bring it to the last and final piece because you've got all the other ones. So you've got this one here, and repeat the final sexies set. So that's another 2 sexies, 2 reverse sexies. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now rotate the bottom, and the cube is solved. So if you've done it all right and you follow the tuition right, there is no reason why you shouldn't solve a Rubik's Cube with only 4 algorithms. And it's, to be fair, when you get efficient with reverse sexy and stuff like that, you could easily solve a cube. I think a lot of young kids, unless they're going into CFOP and stuff like that, should be able to solve a Rubik's Cube like this in less than 30 seconds because of the dexterity of the fingers, if they are quite fluent and able to do things like that. Okay, if they can do stuff like that, they should be able to solve the cube in under 30 seconds at some point with beginner method. I have proven on an earlier video that I actually I challenged myself to do a sub 30 solve just using my old beginner method, which is a little bit more tedious, but it had a few more algorithms to save a bit of time, and I managed to do it. But I reckon you could do it if you're fast enough doing the algorithms and recognition of it. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to. But on average, you should get under 1 minute eventually using beginner method before you have to jump to CFOP or RU or any of the other advanced techniques to solve the cube, where you start learning algorithms and you start getting a headache and things like that, and you start wanting to give up. No, you don't. You just get addicted once you start timing. That's it. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to move to the other cube. I'm not going to do the whole F2L thing because that is exactly the same as my beginner method for mirrors. Okay, mirrors method is exactly the same up to this point. Okay, you'd start mirrors method. You would start with white on top, I believe, anyway, and then you would switch over. Okay, from here. So mirrors is basically a case of what you would do is you would do, instead of doing what I would do like an F reverse sexy, what we'd do is we'd do a reverse sexy to pull something down. We've got this here. Okay, now we'll rotate the cube and we can put this in here with a left reverse sexy. Okay, now we've got this one, we'll bring this one back here and we'll do a reverse sexy again. Okay, that gives me the cross. Okay, from here, similar idea to what we've just done. We look for edge pieces that are conjoined. We've got 2 here. The difference is you put these 2 opposite sides. So if you've got them on the right there, you want to put them on that side. Okay, because you're just going to be using the sexy, the reverse sexy, and that's the important bit. So what you want to do is you do reverse sexy. So what we've got is you've got these 2 here. Reverse sexy and then a U. Okay, then you insert this yellow back in with the reverse sexy. So you have now got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we've got all the edges back where they should be. Okay, you do have one piece out here, but this is the magic key piece, as it were. Okay, so you've got all this sorted out. So now what you're going to be doing is we're going to be doing corner fixes. Okay, so what you do is turn the cube upside down. In this case, we're being very unfortunate and we've got this piece in the right place. So we're going to have to do a bit of swap out to swap in. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this piece up here using a reverse sexy. Okay, I forgot how you're doing this now. I've forgotten. Yeah, so that is in. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to find the orange and green and move it around. So we've got orange, green. This needs to go in here. So we do reverse sexy until that goes in the right spot. Okay, it's in. Okay, now we need orange and blue and yellow. So orange and blue is here. So we need that one in correct spot there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now we have got orange and blue again. I don't know if I've done this right actually. It's one of those weird ones where you just don't know if you've done it right or not. So we're going to swap these 2 corners around. Yep, we're going to swap these 2 corners around. So we've got orange. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get the green red in here. 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to put that one back in. Okay, red and blue. So that's going to be a 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, and it solves. There you go. So that is using purely left and right reverse sexy, and it solves the cube. Okay, it's very, you've got to keep your eyes on things, and the only reason I don't like the Mirrorus is because of how much looking you need to do on the cube, whereas adding those couple of algorithms on mine just eliminates the headache of trying to figure out what corner goes where, because when the cube's mixed up it's very disorientating for a beginner to know where they're supposed to be putting it in without doing it. Once you get the hang of it, it's actually quite a nice technique, but initially I think this is a better technique until you get used to the idea of how colours can be disorientated and you can still solve a cube. Okay, but yeah, I like Mirrorus in its simplicity, but it is a headache for checking out the colours and stuff on the final part, and you're uncertain if you've done it right because it still looks a complete mess. That's the problem with it, and that's why I don't like it that much compared with that one. At least it still looks in a favourable state. Every time you've done a move you can look at it and go, yes, I've progressed, I've got something else in the right place, whereas that looks like it's completely scrambled at one point. Now I thought I'd done it wrong, and then suddenly it's solved. That shows you how complicated that one can be, even though it's technically the easiest method on the planet, as it were. It is also a bit of a headache, so it's probably why people try to not use it as much. So there you go. Anyway, I'm going to leave links in for JPerm because he's a cool guy. He's got loads and loads of really good videos about cubing if you're getting really into it. If you haven't already visited him, I'll be surprised if you haven't, because he's one of the big boys of the cubing internet YouTube channeling thing. It's fantastic. So yeah, I'll leave links in the description for that. Enjoy. I hope it wasn't too long, and I hope I didn't burn your head too much. Until the next time,